is for entertainment, information and reflection purposes only. It's not a substitute for psychotherapy, medical or professional advice. Full disclaimer is in the blurb below.
Welcome to Path Alchemy. If you found your way here, you're probably curious about love, about the mind, and about why we do the things we do, especially when they hurt. I'm Annie O'Brien. I'm a psychotherapist, a clinical hypnotherapist. I have a few degrees, but most importantly, I'm someone who has spent a lifetime fascinated by what makes relationships thrive, collapse, and transform. This podcast is not just episodes. I'm hoping it will be a map. I've built a library for you. You can wander freely or you can let me guide you through the shelves. Just think of it as a spark to make you see your own life with sharper eyes and hopefully provoke reflection. I cover so many different topics. Some of you might come for sex, intimacy, and the erotic, and here I split it into 4 paths. There is the orgasm series, covering female orgasms, male orgasms, and the art of erotic connection, because pleasure matters, and so does honesty about it. And then there's the Sex Without Soul trilogy, why empty sex leaves us starving, and how to bring depth back into the bedroom. I cover porn, the truth about porn, how to quit and what it does to relationships, and my favourite, Desire and Power, episodes on sexual frustration, low libido, and how power dynamics shape passion. Then I cover a hot topic, cheating, betrayal, and affairs. People can't resist it because betrayal cuts to the bone. And in this particular playlist, I pull apart the lies we tell ourselves, the lure of emotional affairs, the psychology of being the other, and the invisible betrayals that happen long before anyone ends up in someone else's bed. If you've been cheated on, if you've cheated yourself, or if you've lived in the shadow of suspicion, this is where truth lives. For the storytellers and dreamers, there's my favourite movie mirrors. Here I take films like Secretariat, The Secret Life of Bees, Because of Winn-Dixie or Braveheart. I do one once a month and I show you how they really mirror our psyche. Movies carry archetypes, wounds and wisdom, and when you hear me pull them apart, you'll never watch a film in the same way again. And it's not all pathology. I do love that last series. This is where I talk about healthy fight, shared vision, and why safety is the real definition of sexy. If you want to know what strong love looks like and how to build it, start here. I also cover red flags and patterns in relationships. So this is where you learn why you fell for them, why you stayed too long, why ghosting messes with your head, and why trauma bonds keep you hooked. If you ever thought, how did I end up here again? This series is where you'll find your answers. And then I do relationship autopsies. These are my short, sharp dissections of modern love habits, weaponized incompetence, soft launches, ghosting, emotional abandonment, all the games people play when they don't know how to love cleanly. These are the bite-sized episodes you'll binge when you want clarity and maybe a laugh at how ridiculous people can be, ourselves included. General overview episodes. Spiritual episodes, these are where I weave astrology, alchemy into the conversation. They're less about labels and more about resonance, how cosmic patterns and soul dynamics shape our relationships with ourselves and each other. If you're a parent or you're carrying the scars of your childhood yourself, check out the parenting and family bonds. I talk about separation anxiety, bedtime routines, and soon I'll dive into bullying and grief. These episodes are short, practical, and rooted in the kind of psychology that you can apply instantly, and they help children feel safe and seen. In the Psyche and Cycle episodes, I cover women's hormonal health and mood. I'm tired of watching women get misdiagnosed with depression and anxiety, when really it might be perimenopause, PCOS, or nutrient depletion. This series takes you through the entire female life cycle, puberty, pregnancy, postpartum, perimenopause, menopause, and everything in between. If you've ever been told it's all in your head, this is where you reclaim your truth. And for the deep divers, there is the Freud Made Me Do It episodes. This is my playful series on defense mechanisms. Gaslighting, projection, repression, suppression, grandiosity, you name it, I explain them in plain English with a little humour and bite. Think of it as a crash course in psychoanalysis, maybe the one you never got at school, and it's the fastest way to stop sabotaging yourself. Learning about your defense mechanisms, because they're not just abstract in psychological terms, They're invisible strings pulling your behavior, your arguments, and even your love life. If you don't see them, they run you. If you do see them, you suddenly have choice. That's the whole heart of psychotherapy. What's unconscious will rule you until you bring it into awareness. The moment you name your defense, whether it's denial, projection, whatever it is, you're no longer trapped inside it. You're empowered to change it, to stop repeating the same fights, the same patterns, the same mistakes. Learning your defenses is not academic, it's freedom. So while this is a podcast, I'm hoping it's kind of like a free course or a library, something that you can walk along to, learn about yourself, drive and listen to, just examine, reflect upon your relationships and the defenses and desires that shape you. My intention with all of this is to really offer something that's helpful. My time is limited. I can't see everyone who reaches out for one-to-one therapy. And truthfully, this is not the kind of work you'd ever want to do in huge volume. It's too deep, too personal, too important to be diluted. And that's why I do fewer one-to-ones. So the work I do offer is high quality, meaningful, and transformative. I also hold a small number of online sessions each month, but I know there are far more people searching for insight than I could ever meet in therapy. So I'm hoping that this podcast is the space where what I've gathered from what I know so far in life is offered to you so you can listen, reflect, and grow at your own pace. My intention is that you can do inner work by reflecting and listening. Real work, recognizing yourself in stories and the patterns I describe. It's not a substitute for therapy, but it is a place to find clarity, courage, and companionship on your path. So that's why Soul Path Alchemy exists. It's a doorway of sorts that I can hold open for anyone who chooses it. Wherever you begin, whether it's with red flags, betrayal, hormones, Freud, or orgasms, my hope is that the path will eventually bring you back to the same place, yourself, stronger, clearer, and braver. And this isn't stopping here. In the coming weeks, I'll be releasing episodes on the second eclipse, new movie mirror episodes on the lake house and sliding doors, and deep dives into hypervigilance, directness in relationships, and the psychology of regret. I'll explore cosmic timekeeping, the cosmic field, and why miscommunication so often makes people selectively deaf when it suits them. There are episodes on the importance of solitude in love, on stonewalling, on procrastination, and even a movie mirror on the horse whisperer. I'll be doing some animal episodes for World Animal Week, and I'll also be unpacking why feelings are not a burden, how the psyche protects itself by withholding at times. So stay tuned. There's a whole wave of rich, sharp, and sometimes funny explorations en route. So you're really welcome. Pour yourself a coffee, put on your headphones, and take me on a walk through the Irish countryside, the New York subway, a drive in California perhaps, or simply chilling out in a cafe. However you listen, you're invited. And I'm really grateful to you all for listening, because Soul Path Alchemy isn't just my work, it's yours too. I'm Annie, and I hope wherever you are that you have a wonderful and blessed day.